come back.
Oh,
Say
could do.
two.
Could do.
Either way, we can strike one, and the other guys that seem to friend it.
Yeah, sweet as.
Cool.
Yeah, that's easy to come off, yeah.
Awesome. Hi.
Hi.
Can you speak to everyone so you can call it? Is that line level thing? Right, yeah. So each of the outputs are up to the top. That's just one. Not as
Yeah, I've been up in one of the country boxes. Yeah.
Yeah, take any of the outputs and they just correlate to a hot Napier, and I can send the same sync tone if you like. And it's the quietest person. If that's it at its quietest, the dynamic range is between 10 just for all the pops going in there.
You say 10.
Yeah, I'll give us a look at your usual, but that's great. Yeah, I'd go back to about minus 18, so keep going there. 10 dB margin, so that'd be the quietest person, and then anyone else louder than that, it's something like that. So you've got 10 dB under it.
Like the sound is coming?
Sorry?
Sound is coming?
Sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the noise from your side?
Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
Can I just
Absolutely.
is that all right?
Absolutely.
See the voice when I shut the door.
No, just record it and then I'll line pretty much.
I'll take a couple of video. Mole's coming too. Danny Mole's coming over too. Oh, yeah. Well, the Village game, they just didn't come back. Sort of dragged on a long way. I thought it would, that. Why? Yeah. More for them. More so for them, which was probably a good thing. Oh, we were just talking about that because he bloody run out Kane Williamson or something that last game here, didn't he? And it was like Guppy's call. He just took off. Yeah. Oh. It was interesting to watch Laura and Ross Taylor's wife because they and as soon as that happened, Laura got up and left. And I nearly said to Ross, mate, get a photo before and after. And it was like, Dean, on the table, mate. Because you're so good. Phone's on silent.
Charlie Connie does things differently.
There was
Sorry,
Alright folks, they're just on their way up now, so we'll be getting underway shortly. Please make sure all cell phones are turned off. Please put all dictaphones and recording devices by our speaker in the back. I'd ask that you all take a seat too, make our job a little bit easier. And if you want to ask a question, please ask it into a microphone, which our guys will provide for you.
seats over here, please.
Nabi, after the experiences in Perth against a very strong Australia team, was the performance in this match any what went on there and the long journey you had? Were you at all tired or weary coming into this game?
Yeah, but it's a very game, not good game. We are respected on against Australia, but the way he played, and it's maybe it's the number one team in the world at that condition and Perth. For them from long journey, not quite good to use with jet lag as well, and the boys too tired as well from the traveling. Every single match, after the next morning we are going traveling from 10 to 12 hours flights, and from the next day 2 days we have rest. This quite difficult to play after 3 days. But the way we played against New Zealand today game, we didn't expect like 180, but we did. If we score 280 to 70, maybe it's difficult to different kind of match. But maybe the boys play well at that game.
Were you slightly disappointed that it was caused you trouble at the start of that innings? Daniel Vettori picking up those 4 wickets. Had you put a lot of planning into facing the quicker bowlers? Maybe are you slightly surprised at the role Vettori played today?
No, not that mean, but in the whole tournament, our top 5 batsmen didn't click in the whole 5 games, and it's a hard luck to our team as well to didn't click. And also Vettori bowled brilliantly at the first few hours, and also in the end as well. They take 4 wickets on just 16 or 17 runs, and it's a part of game, and we try our best in the next game as well.
You took some positives though out of the way, Shanwari, and you recover with that partnership. Is that something you think your rest of the top order can learn from? That if you play time and play yourself in, you can score runs even against these best attacks in the world?
Yeah, it's the way Najibullah and Shinwari partnership is maybe 60-70 runs partnership. It's quite good, and maybe the top order will be learn from that as well to get in responsibility as well.
Can you just talk a little more about Najibullah, because he was a very attacking, free-scoring batsman. Does that go with his personality? He's a young man with a lot of future in front of him. Can you tell us about him and his batting? Because he played very aggressively and he took the bowlers on.
Yeah, he's in the team. He's an aggressive player as well, and we put on in the end as well that they just use last 10 or last 15 hours to hit big shots as well. But the condition, and we didn't give him a big a platform for Najibullah Zadran, and also and every match they have a little bit on the pressure as well after losing early wickets on the low score. But today he played very well, and in the pressure game as well.
Can you give us a sense of what you feel you have learnt in the World Cup so far? You've still got a game to go, and you'll probably fancy beating England. But what have you learnt? What is the important things that you take out of the World Cup experience?
Yeah, it's against big teams. If you play, it's totally different from playing against USA teams and come here to play Test nation. It's quite difficult to adjust with that conditions, and with that conditions of fast bowlers, world-class bowlers, world-class spinners, and also world-class batsmen as well. But England also in trouble, and that World Cup as well. And we try our hard and give him 100% at that match as well.
You've played Australia and New Zealand now in quick succession. Who's the better team, and who are you tipping to win the tournament?
Both are they have home grounds, and they played the way form of New Zealand. They're quite good, and also Australia. maybe they are very good, both of. I'm saying that Australia is the best or New Zealand is the best. The way both of teams are quite good or quite balanced.
How was Shanwari after that blow on the head? He seemed a little bit dizzy afterwards. He was on the field. He's clearly okay now, but feeling a little bit after that blow.
Yeah, he's hit on the helmet and a little bit still on the few minutes as well. Yeah, but after he got out and a little bit put some ice in the head. Yeah, he's all right now. Yeah, not a big issue.
Yeah, and that it's been a great experience to be playing against test nations and things like that. But are you a bit disappointed that looking ahead and looking towards the next World Cup, thinking of limiting associate teams, are you disappointed that there's a potential that this is the only time you're going to be participating in a World Cup at this?
Yeah, we expected a lot of that tournament to play good cricket, and we show talent to the world. But we show in the bowling, we have a good fast bowlers and we have good fielders as well. But we didn't show in our talent in the batting side, because in the top order we didn't collect this in the whole tournament. Yeah, it's hard for the next World Cup, but we try our best, and we play against full members more games to adjust with that kind of conditions. Yeah.
Hi. New Zealand, well, they've won, but they haven't chased very well this tournament. Did you feel at half-time you thought, hey, boys, we're in this? If we get a couple of really quick wickets, get away?
Yeah, it's if we take quick early wickets of New Zealand, it's maybe a match in the ground, same like we play against Sri Lanka. If we take quick 4 wickets early, but it's a quite tough game. And same here, if you take quick early wickets, maybe it's...
Nabi, you brought yourself on when McCullum got going. Was that a plan before you guys went out to field, if he got going, to look to bowl spin?
No, it's not in the plan, but I just changed the side, rotate the other bowler to the next end. But it's quite good to take a wicket as well in that over. Thank you.
New Zealand won't be far away. I believe it's Daniel Vittoria.
Probably going to find McCullum.
Seema?
Oh, here, sorry. Hi, Dan. Your best figures for a while, did that reflect actually how well you bowled? Is that as well as you bowled for some time?
No, not necessarily. I think obviously any form of the game you can bowl well and not take wickets, and vice versa. So once again, just trying to fulfil that role as economical as possible, and wickets came today, and that doesn't always happen, but it's great when it does.
And the conditions were a bit more helpful than you expected as well?
I think the wicket was just a touch more worn than it generally is here. Normally when you turn up, it's pretty pristine. Hasn't been played on for a while, but obviously with the game the other day between Pakistan and UAE, it was a little bit more worn. Didn't necessarily turn, but I think it was a bit slower than we're used to.
Was that first one-over spell for you purely a change of ends for the seamers, or had it been a pre-discussed tactic that you'd be on so early?
No, it's just a change of ends.
So nice one, that first one.
Some things work out well sometimes.
Yeah.
Dan, Brendan said yesterday that he would have batted first if he'd won the toss. Were you guys, when you were asked to bowl first, were you, Trent, especially you, Tim and Trent, were you licking your lips a little bit, having run through a few teams early doors lately?
No, not at all. I think there's a lot of respect around the Afghanistan team. I think we've hard because they have got some good players and they've got a nicely balanced lineup, and you saw that today with the way that they were able to counter-attack. So it's always a good wicket here. Strict teams are under 300. Traditionally, you got a chance of winning. So I think we went into it thinking it was going to be a tough day, no matter whether we bowled or batted first.
Dan, did that match just tick a lot of boxes in terms of you had to bowl deep? Guys like Ross and Grant got a bit of time in the middle. Seemed to get a lot out of it. A lot out of that one.
Probably for you guys more than us. I think you guys are the ones who want the box ticked. I think we're just looking at it as we're trying to win games, regardless of the situation. And I think that's important to us that we keep thinking that way, because if we get caught up and trying to work through what's right and what's wrong to try and win a World Cup, it's not going to work. It's just purely about winning games, and that's what we've been able to do so far, and we can hopefully continue in the important knockout stages.
I don't know how Africa last night, but what are you making of their progress so far?
Look, I think it's like a lot of teams, it's you get through those quarterfinal stages and that's where it really starts. So all the teams that eventually make it have got match winners in it, so you can't sit back and say a team's on form or they haven't played well, because you're going to go into it thinking that a team's going to play their best. And you look at the calibre of the players that South Africa have, look at Pakistan as well, India. Anyone that we come up against in that quarterfinal is going to be a tough opposition. So I think it's the nature of things. You look at it through, I suppose, a positive prism, that they've got good players, so there's no real thoughts of they're out of form or not playing well.
Is it difficult though, with such a period of time till the quarterfinal, semi-final, just a couple of games? How hard is it for the guys just to stay at that level?
Well, it takes a little bit to acclimatise to, because we're so used to playing every 3 days. In the particular series we had before this between Sri Lanka and Pakistan was very tight, and to go from that and a quick start to the World Cup and then have 6, 7, 8 days off, sort of 3 to 4 games in 3.5 weeks, it takes a little bit to get used to, but I suppose in some ways it means that you get to rest up and actually be fresh going into those games. So there's positives and negatives to it all.
Dan, 300 ODI wickets now. You spent a long time out of the game rehabbing, and obviously a lot of hard work went into that. Does today offer you an opportunity to reflect on the achievement, or is it just a matter of focusing on the next game?
Look, I suppose I went into the World Cup not really thinking about that milestone. I honestly didn't believe I'd take this many wickets in this few games, so it'll be something nice to look back on. But I think we are caught up in the middle of the World Cup. There's a game on Friday, and then probably the most important game of our careers the following Saturday. So maybe in a month or so's time there'll be a chance to look back on it.
And just on Afghanistan, what your sort of thoughts on how they played today, and kind of looking forward, whether the sort of 10-team World Cup is the right way to go to help teams like them in Ireland and whoever?
I look at Afghanistan and think that's the beginning of a very good team. I think the way that they're balanced out, they've got firepower all through their batting order and their bowling lineup, particularly their three fast bowlers, particularly impressive. And you've got three guys who run in over 140. That's going to give you the ability to win games at that top tier level. So I look at all the associate teams that have performed in this tournament at a high level, and particularly Afghanistan. I think they've got the makings of an exceptional side. Thanks, guys.